Hey guys, welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks. My name is Ryan Chambers. Alongside my brothers, James to my left and Chris to my right, we are Sarcastic Remarks as always. Please go and use that promo code THPN next time you go and use DraftKings Sportsbook and Raycon. We thank them for being the sponsors of us, our podcast, and all of THPN. The Dallas Stars get a very good win tonight, guys, by a final score of 4-3 in overtime over the Arizona Coyotes. We would have not been able to say that a couple years ago. A good win over the Coyotes. What's your initial thoughts from this game?
First of all, great to be back. The boys are back in town after a long and busy week. Beautiful. And that's not exactly how we thought the third period would go, but hey, it was a lot more fun that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, one thing that you can take away from this game is that the Coyotes know how to finish pucks now. I mean, they had a lot of chances, but the chances that they shot pretty much all went in.
I got to give my biggest initial takeaways tonight is actually the Arizona Coyotes themselves. I was very impressed with how they played tonight for a majority of the game. They didn't get a lot of chances in the first period. The Stars pretty much controlled the first period, but when they got an opportunity, aka their first shot, they took advantage of it. And their defense looked pretty good as the game went along. And I was, I think, more impressed with anything. And the fact that the Stars are known as like a skating team. They are very fast. They can move the puck pretty quickly. And Arizona stuck with us. I mean, seriously, I could not have been more impressed with another team. And as for games for this season so far, this has been my favorite. I mean, it was so fun back and forth. Both teams were kind of making the other team kind of work for it. There were some bad plays both ways. There were some good plays both ways. So overall, just a very entertaining game of hockey.
Yeah, definitely agree. This is probably the most entertaining game for me as well. And Arizona's defense is so much better. I mean, they lock down the middle of the ice, and that's where the Stars like to live. They love to live in the slot and get their chances from there. And it was really locked down until the end of the game when it kind of broke open. And the Yotes had to stretch the ice a little bit to make something happen. They did make something happen, but they couldn't get back into that defensive form that they had throughout the entirety of the game. And the Stars took advantage of that with a cherry picking Tyler Seguin.
So there's a lot of things to kind of talk about tonight, you guys, but I think obviously the one we got to talk about first is the guy that seems to be kind of taking the limelight from the top line, and that's Matt Duchene. I mean, the guy comes into Dallas, and I mean, I can't say I expected this. I just expected him to try and get that second line going, and he's done that and more. And he and Seguin both have their fingerprints on the last two goals for the Stars tonight. They're the reasons why the Stars get 2 points tonight. Those two guys, and specifically Duchene.
Yep. And that line looked great after the third Coyotes goal too. That was the line that got back out there and really had a statement shift. Was like, we're not just going to roll over and lose this game. We're jumping right back out there. It was after the second Coyotes goal that happened. Sorry, that they had a really good shift. And as soon as they got off the ice, then they get the stretch pass. Suter gets beat, and they get the go-ahead goal. And it is only fitting that they come back to tie and then eventually win the game. And man, yes, Duchene, he's definitely been the best guy since he returned from his injury. He's been the best All-Star. But man, that move by Seguin, oh my goodness. I loved Razor's call. He said more moves than a snake falling out of a tree. what a call there. That's amazing. But yeah, that was vintage Tyler Seguin putting his flag down. I'm still Tyler Seguin. I can do Tyler Seguin things from now and then.
Mm-hmm. And Duchene did have a great night, but I mean, Seguin was the one executing on that line. I mean, he executes on the goal and he makes a perfect pass in overtime. I mean, he drives to the net, throws it in front. It's a dunk.
Slam dunk.
It's so much fun to watch Matt Duchene. I this is like my fourth time mentioning about it, but like there was a play in the first period where you knew exactly what he was going to do. You knew he was going to try and outdangle the two guys, and you knew he was going to try and go around them. And he did exactly that. And the only reason why it wasn't a goal is because Vejmelka made a really good save. That was it. I mean, you could see exactly what he was going to do. You could predict it. And you're like, Oh my goodness, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Oh dang, stupid Vamelka.
He's
And he's
is
just he's so much fun right now.
seen someone so confident with the puck since like Mike Ribeiro was with this.
Yes, that's a good comparison. I like that.
He just it doesn't matter. He's fully confident that he's going to make an outstanding move and beat somebody, no matter if he's doing a crazy spinorama or trying to deke between the legs. He's just fully confident that it's going to work.
So what are we saying from Duchesne that's making the other two guys better? Is it just the fact that
Space, man.
he's doing
It's
hint
space.
things? He's
It's
doing
hint
hint things?
Exactly.
It's kind of hints things, but it's different too. He's not just using blazing speed. He's using the handles. He's using his mitts, drawing the attention, and then everyone collapses on him. He's like, "Oh, dish it off. There you go, Sagan," or there you go, Marchment, and they dunk it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's been happening. Just kind of happened in reverse this time at the end with the 2-on-1 on the 3-on-3 overtime. But I really think him making those flashy moves is drawing attention away from the wingers, and it gives the wingers the space, like you said, James, to put those pucks in and get good shots.
And I also think, Chris, what we're getting from him as well is because he's able to make those plays, he's giving confidence to Sagan and Marchment to do those sort of plays as well.
Absolutely.
And that last goal in overtime is a perfect example of that, because Sagan normally would not have been able. Well, I wouldn't say wouldn't have been able. He would have
Last year he wouldn't do that.
He probably wouldn't
Agreed.
have been able to pull that move off as much as he could. And it was a brilliant play, absolute brilliant pass, brilliant play. And again, you could see exactly what Sagan was going to do. It was predictable, and it didn't matter. It absolutely didn't matter. They were, the two of those guys together right now are just dynamite. So I
Great
believe
point.
that was one of the big talking points coming out of tonight. I love Matt Duchesne right now. By the way, did we mention he makes $3 million?
By the
He
way,
makes less than Foxa.
by the way, the Predators are paying him to not play on their hockey team. Wow, what a terrible decision.
I still don't. It's kind of a side tangent, but I still don't understand what the Predators did this offseason. They got rid of their big guys, and then they go out and spend money during free agency to go and get out Ryan O'Reilly to try and replace Matt Duchesne and Ryan Johansson. I don't get it, but I don't know. Maybe
I smell a hot GM chair over in Nashville.
he just got there.
He just
I know.
got there.
That is those are terrible moves. I don't
Yeah,
care.
He's still got a couple of years behind him, and Nashville is very loyal because David Boyle was there for so long. But anyways, I talked about my big storyline for tonight. What else did you guys see in tonight that you want to talk about?
I really like the defensive game from both teams, really. I thought that's what it was until the end of the third period when it kind of opened up a little bit. But both teams were locking down the center of their ice, playing very well. Neither goaltender was getting tested all that much. And whenever they did, they kind of had an answer for it, except for the first shot of the game that Ottinger faced. So I thought the Stars played a good defensive slugfest for the first 50 minutes and then showed that they have the offensive prowess to come back from just a total punch to the balls is what that is. I mean, 2 goals at the end of the game, a defensive lockdown game so quickly in a row. I mean, it's so easy to roll over those 5 minutes, be like, we lost this one. And the fight back and the ability to bring that offense out whenever the game does open up is my kind of two keys. I won't give you one. I'll give you 2.
Yeah, the Stars of last year have returned.
Yep.
That's exactly what it felt like. I mean, they were in control most of the game, and then it slipped, and they're like, "Nope, it's still ours. Take it right back."
And that's really where great team. We talk about great teams finding ways to win, and that's correct. But this is more of what I think of when a great team finds a way to win. They play a good game.
I agree. Yes.
They played a good game, except for 4 minutes in the third period, they screwed up. They fully screwed up too. Terrible plays.
Yeah.
Both of them. Both goals, super bad. But it doesn't matter because they're a good team. And they fought back, didn't roll over, decided they weren't going to lose the game. That's what I more think of when I say good teams find a way to win. We kind of did it the wrong way in the beginning of the season, but these past 4 games, especially on this win streak, it's felt like we've gotten back to, like you said, James, the Stars of last year.
couple thoughts that come to my head while you were talking, Chris. The first thing is when we went down 3-2, I was actually worried, probably for the first time this season, worried about, are the Stars going to be able to pull this off, especially after the gut punch they just took. And then my second thought was actually in the first period, you kind of mentioned a little bit. I mean, we were playing really well. I mean, they talked on the broadcast 8 games in 14 days. Obviously, there's going to be some little bit of rust. That's not the right word. A little bit of exhaustion there, I guess I should say. And they didn't really show it the first 10 minutes. They didn't. They kind of not fully took it to the Coyotes, but they were definitely the dominant team in the first period.
Yeah.
And what really stunk was the fact we gave up the first goal on the first shot of the game for the Coyotes. And the only thing I could think of was, okay, so we've been complaining about the fact that we've been starting slow all year and we have a good start. And whenever we have good starts, it seems like we give up the first goal anyways. So I guess the moral of the story is just start slow anyways.
Yeah, and that was another good response too by the Stars. I mean, 2 really big emotional responses, I think, because the first 5 minutes, I think we did fully dominate the Coyotes. We were fantastic.
They didn't have a shot on that.
They had no shots. We had 6. And they get that goal. They kind of control the next 5 minutes, but the Stars, again, they fight back. And they're saying that's not how this game's going to go. In the period tied, second period, they take full control there. It's a miracle there was only 1 goal scored. And then they have another emotional response in the third period. So that's what I was really keen on is the Stars really showed who they were tonight emotionally and mentally and where their mental game is, where they fought back on 2 really unfortunate things that happened and won the game. And that's really what I think the big part of this regular season is for the Stars. We're pretty much a lock for a playoff position. We're fighting with one team for the division. Really what we want to see is we want to see this hockey team be competitive and show that competitive energy that they had last season, that never die energy. Down 3 goals in the third period, find a way to win. We want to see that exact same thing. And this is the first kind of emotional response that I've seen the Stars have that was similar to those kind of games that we had last year. And that really makes me excited that this team has that same kind of mojo that last year's team did.
Now, I kind of want to move on. Lots of good thoughts there, Chris. But I got to move on just for time's sake. Okay. Eden over here. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. Half of what I wanted to talk about was the power play. Power play was meh. It was okay tonight. It was not 5 for 8 tonight, but they still get a power play goal. Hence gets a power play goal, but it's the way they did it tonight on the power play goal. It wasn't just a rush chance in and hence flies around and somehow gets to the loose puck and scores, or it's off the rush from Johnston or something like that. It was a rebound chance. And they were moving the puck around. And that is something that we have not seen a lot of the Dallas Stars power play throughout the season. Now, lately, over the last 4 games, as it's gotten better, we have. And that's something I think we should mention tonight and kind of talk about. Is this something that's going to continue for the Stars where the power play is a little bit more available, a little bit more able to lean upon when we need a big goal?
I was saying it. I would say it's coming. Bang! 5 goals, 1 game.
And I think that one-timer needs to be used more too by Hintz and by Robertson, Heiskanen. All 3 of them need to be taking one-timers, in my opinion.
Duchesne. I mean,
Duchesne on that second unit, absolutely. The only thing is the power play is a little bit silly tonight by not scoring on an extended 5-on-3 that would have iced the game at the end of the second period. And we talked about that last year, how our power play seems to not get the clutch goals for some reason. The power plays at the end of the game, for some reason, we can't get those. And I feel like that kind of happened again tonight. You have to score on that. I mean, you score on that, the momentum is fully in your favor. Arizona has nothing, and you could maybe even just sleepwalk through the third period and take it home. So you got to find a way to score there.
Honestly, we could have. I mean, the Arizona got back in it because they had a really good power play goal. And I know that you said you didn't really like it that much, Chris, but I mean, it's a great saucer pass and then a perfect shot on the right side.
It was
it's like 8 inches where it's like barely missing everyone.
It was a great pass. I just hate when one gets through the box like that. That's the only thing that frustrates me.
Otter almost got it too. He did. He
hit
almost
someone's
got it.
stove and got it as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
just any time a pass gets through the box like that, I'm going to complain. But I understand it was a great pass.
So let's talk about the penalty kill for a split second too. They do leak a little bit tonight, but they're the best penalty kill in the NHL. You're not going to stop every single one, obviously, but I understand where you're coming from, Chris, because that's a pass you don't want to give up. But again, it was a perfect pass. I mean, hats off to Michelli for that pass. It was ridiculous.
And a perfect finish.
And a perfect finish as well. Right.
He one timed it immediately off of a saucer pass, and it was a great shot.
Now back to the power play real quick, because let's get to Eden's question. Did I see Johnston on the first power play unit instead of Ben, or was that just line change weirdness? I think what she's talking about is when the Stars had the 5-on-3, they took the timeout, and it was kind of a mosh podge of people around the clipboard there. I think it was Duchesne, it was Johnston, Robo, Hintz, Heiskanen, I think.
Hero, yeah.
Now, I don't know if those guys actually went out and they were the ones that were on the ice after they were okay. So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
We had on the 5-on-3, which I think we did that because those are our puck handlers. All of those guys can dangle by themselves and there's tons of space. I don't like the decision. And I mean, it's a 5-on-3. You sit two people in front and that goaltender can't see anything. I mean,
and last year our top unit was automatic 5-on-3s. It felt like
no, actually they weren't.
No,
we were 1 for 8 on 5-on-3s last year.
Wow. Well, then maybe it is warranted to at least try something different.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that's what he was thinking.
I don't mind trying it, but it didn't work at all.
It didn't look good. No.
I didn't think it was terrible. I would have liked more shots though. But again, we're being nitpicky here, guys.
There was one good shot on it. I mean, but this was the turning point of the game, really. I mean, the 2 goals that Arizona gets, but if we ice it on a 5-on-3 when we're up a goal, I mean, never have to deal with that.
Instead, Arizona has the momentum going into the third period of having killed the 5-on-3 and kept themselves in the game. So, yeah.
I'd like to talk about Hanley a little bit tonight because obviously that's a big talking point coming into the game is the fact that Thomas Harley, not in concussion protocol, but obviously not good enough to go tonight. Maybe it's just precautionary. Maybe it's just precautionary. I don't know. But obviously that hit from Duhaime in the last game was not good. And I thought he played okay. I mean, Hanley didn't look out of place. And considering he has barely played at all this season, I thought he actually played pretty well.
He skated really hard tonight is what I think was more of the thing. He made some positional errors sometimes. Obviously, we can protect him because we're at home. That's how we got 13 minutes. I think if we're on the road, he probably gets 10. But I mean, he was skating really, really hard all the time. And that's exactly what we needed him to do.
Yep. I didn't notice very much, so good job, Hanley.
I literally think he's the best 7th defenseman in the world. I really do. It's like the guy, now he can't be in there for like a really long extended period of time, right? Like if he's in there for a period of like 7 or 8 games, his effectiveness is not as good. But if it's just like, oh, we have a defenseman hurt, throw him in. He always seems like that first game he does pretty well, and he plugs the hole pretty well.
Poor guy. He probably hates that. It's like, why do I have to be good at that? Why can't I just be good at like hockey all the time?
I know. But I mean, he's a great player, and I admire him a lot.
Good. I admire him a lot. He feels it really well, and we've used that multiple times throughout his career in Dallas for sure.
As for the rest of the defense tonight, Heiskanen with 2609, he continues to be pretty good. I was in a couple of I was in a couple of Stars group chats tonight, and they were saying that he was turning the puck over a couple of times tonight, and I didn't really see that. And obviously, based off of y'all's body language, y'all didn't really see that either.
I think he plays with Suter is the problem, and Suter had an awful night.
I think he plays 26 minutes of ice time tonight and holds the puck more than anybody. So yeah, he's going to turn the puck over more than other people are probably because he has it for half the game.
Especially
So
when
yeah,
Suter can't play with the puck that night.
especially when Suter can't touch the puck at all. My goodness, he had a tough night.
Oh, speaking of other defensemen, how about that 2-1 goal? Nils Lundqvist to Esa Lindell. How about that? Yeah.
There you
I
go.
thought that was a great play by both guys.
We always knew Essa was the goal scorer.
I mean, he crashes down like that often. I mean, when
He
he
started to
knows
recently for sure.
Yeah, when he knows he has the space, he does it. And now he's finally starting to hit the net with them instead of
Not.
Yep. So we talked about the forwards a little bit. We talked about the defense. Let's talk about the goaltending a little bit tonight. I mean, Otter was just kind of there tonight. It kind of felt like he wasn't really needed to be a world beater tonight because like y'all mentioned, the team defense from the forwards and the defensemen were really good in front of him tonight. Even when there was a bad turnover, it seemed like the Stars were able to mop it up, or there was a rush coming towards Otter. It seems like the Stars did pretty well. What did you think of his play tonight? Did he just kind of meh? The first goal, I kind of looked at it and I was like, he should have had that. And then I kind of looked back on it and I was like, I can kind of see how he could miss that. But what are y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, maybe a little overly aggressive on the first and third goals. I'd agree with. He kind of was way far out of his crease. The third one was a poke check, which I thought was ill advised. I think he could have easily made the save had he stayed in his net. But overall, I'd say he was meh throughout the game, but he makes the big save in overtime. He makes a save with his face. I mean, if he doesn't make that save, Sagan doesn't go the other end and give a slam dunk to Duchesne. So even when he has an off game, he makes the big save when the Stars need it, and he gets it done. And that's why he's our goalie, and he's one of the best in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's been kind of the last couple of games, but I mean, we're scoring enough goals that it doesn't really matter. I mean, you as a goaltender, you can have off nights if your team is scoring more than 4 goals a night.
Yeah. He's really ham and egging it with the Stars offense. Stars offense bad, Otter good. Otter not as good, offense good.
That is very true. That is very true. So, and the other thing about this is the divisional play. So the Stars are now 3-0 against their division play on this group of 4 against their Central Division rivals. Not really rivals, opponents. Some of them are not really rivals, but regardless. And this was something that they have kind of slowly gotten better at over the last couple of years, especially. I think there was a little stat line when they showed Pete DeBoer that
they were
21,
like
4-4.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
22, 4-4 now. So with Pete DeBoer behind the bench, that record is ridiculous. And I remember that there were years that the Stars were really good and they'd have really good, records or whatever, and their record against the Central Division would be kind of mediocre or whatever.
Doesn't hurt that the Central Division's gotten a lot worse.
And that's also what I was thinking.
5 years ago, the Central Division was one of, if not the best divisions, and now it's very much not.
Okay, I got one more thing I want to talk about, but before that, do y'all have anything you can think of?
You know what's sad? We only get to play the Coyotes 3 times this year.
Boo.
That was a good game. Like I want to see more Coyotes Stars. Yeah. This has been my favorite. I might just start
watching the Coyotes on my own.
Yeah, one of the things it's funny you say that, Chris, is I could see the Coyotes possibly making the playoffs.
I think they should. I think if they don't, I think they're wasting their team. I mean, the Keller and Zucker.
It's early for that. It's early
Keller
for
and Zucker, those are both 2 really good goals. Those players are playing very well. Their defense can fully stand up to it. Their goaltending tonight was great. I mean, they have a goalie that can do it. They should do it this year. I mean, I don't see a reason why they can't. I talked about it a lot last year, how I thought their team overall was a lot better than their record said. And they're showing it this year. I think their goal should be to make the playoffs now. There's no reason for them to wait.
Especially if Edmonton keeps going the way they are. I mean, Edmonton at this rate, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not even going to get a wild card spot if they keep going. They've had a couple of wins recently. They might
They-
catch back up. They're the Edmonton Oilers.
They were
but,
kind of in that spot last year.
yeah. Well, it's a bit
Nowhere
worse this
near
year,
like this,
but
yeah.
It's a little
regardless,
worse, but it's also earlier.
yeah. And
That's true.
The Kraken and the Flames both look like neither of them are going to make much of this season so far, and theirs hasn't been like. They're not getting unlucky. Those teams have just not looked good. And then, I mean, the team that you're fighting right now is the Blues.
You should beat the
Well,
Blues.
the Jets. The Jets.
The Jets are going to get top 3.
So, well, see,
I don't think they're going to have to fight
yeah.
for. I don't think they're going to have to fight for a top 3 position if Seattle, Calgary keeps playing the way they are.
Well, I still don't see how there's 4 teams from the Central that make the playoffs. I don't.
I can see it this year.
I think it's gonna.
How the Pacific has started.
No, I think it's gonna be 5.
I can see it.
I think it's gonna be 5 for the Pacific, 3 from the Central, and I'm sticking with it unless the Edmonton Oilers find some magic.
That's what I thought at the beginning of the year, but man,
the Pacific started bad, man.
They're probably the team that has not met expectations the most. Someone help me with that. Well, you know what I meant to say. Someone say it better.
What?
They're the division that
they're the most disappointing division so far.
Yes. Thank you.
Los palabras son muy difícil. The words are very hard for you, Chris. Okay. Anyways, this might be a team I'd jump on the bandwagon for a little bit. They were actually a lot of fun to watch.
You got the Cochino logo.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful jersey.
Amazing jerseys.
Yep. So, but the other thing that it reminded me of is how I felt about the Seattle Kraken after the playoff series. Because, a hard-fought series like that, normally you go out of it hating the other team. And I didn't. I was so impressed with the Seattle Kraken.
Love
and now that it's they haven't really started that well this year. But
the big difference for me there, though, is that Arizona has stars there. And they have stars in the making, and they have some crazy good goal scorers there. Seattle just kind of scores because they find a way. Arizona is scoring because they're good.
More potential in Arizona, I agree.
We'll see what they can do as the season continues. Can Arizona get into 3rd in the Central? I can see it. I don't think so, but they could. But let's wrap it up, guys. Biggest winner, biggest loser tonight. What do we want?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Biggest winner is Tyler Seguin. I love that, man. What a move at the end there. I mean, it was disgusting. He fully undressed him, laid him down on the ice, and spanked his bare behind. It was amazing.
James.
All right, I was gonna go Tyler Seguin too, but I'll go with Esa Lindell. I thought he looked really, really good tonight. We kind of needed him to step up with Harley out as well, and he even produces offensively like Harley would have, or could have, I guess.
The real biggest winner tonight is Matt Duchene. Absolutely, he continues to be the Stars' best player in the last 10 games. It's ridiculous what he makes, and maybe that's what makes this even better is the fact that he took a bargain contract to come here because he knew he could win.
It does feel
but I do want to give a little biggest winner to Nils Lundqvist. Well, I know oxymoron, but it's like he's not as biggest winner, but the pass
starting
that
to sound like me, Ryan.
I know, right? Sorry. The pass that he made to Lindell, excuse me, on that second goal was so pretty.
Superb.
It was amazing. And the guy has been lights out this year. Like he's not getting pushed around as much. That those 15 pounds of muscle that he gained over the summer is really kind of working out for him. I haven't said many bad things about him, so that means that the defensive side of the game is really working for him, and he's really having a great season. And he as well as Harley are both stepping up in the season when the cup expectations are there, and that's exactly what we needed from one and or both of those guys, and they're showing it to the season. So
just like
I felt like he deserved. I felt like he deserved a shout out for tonight's play. So, all right, biggest loser,
Ryan Suter.
Y'all are so mean. Just get.
He was terrible. Penalty fully allows the second goal, or was it the third goal? I don't
It was the
remember.
third goal.
The third goal fully allows it because
It
he
was the
thinks
third goal.
he's Miro Heiskanen for some reason, and he's playing up in front of the red line. Get
I
back
don't
where
know
you
what he-
belong. Go stand on the blue line.
I mean,
And
even Pavelski was further back than he was, and Suter
Yeah,
should always
that's
be
true.
the furthest one back.
every time doesn't matter.
Unless he's like pinching for some dumb reason.
No, he should never
always
pinch.
be. He should always be the
No,
last.
okay,
man back.
okay. No.
He
I'm
did
gonna
make one good pinch the other game. Yes,
Okay,
Ryan, shut up.
yes. Don't tell me to shut up. I'm trying to
was a
defend
joke.
him. Y'all are just trashing him over here, and I'm like, he's been okay this year. He's
has
not
He
been
been
almost
as
so
bad.
cost
far.
us. He almost cost us the game.
He
That's
almost
what it
cost
comes
us
down to.
Oh, okay, maybe, but he didn't though.
His
Thank you,
penalty was
Sagan
the
and
one
Duchesne.
that
Not,
he
he
scored on
didn't do
too.
anything. He didn't do anything to save it. I mean,
He did.
It would have been
Secondary assist on the second goal.
I guess he does kind
Stand corrected.
stand
Sagan,
correct.
biggest-
That
or
actually
Suter,
was a
biggest
good
winner.
feed up the boards. Congrats.
Suter, biggest winner. Confirmed.
It's hard for me to pick a biggest loser tonight because it was such a fun game to watch.
Matt Dumba getting put on his butt.
Yeah, there. Okay, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
like that. I really like that one, James. Thank you. I'll steal James's idea for Matt Dumba. He didn't get booed enough though. He didn't get booed enough. I kind of
He
wish
got booed a good
Zach
bit.
and Dad had booed him more, but I don't know. So
I liked it, Stars fans. Don't let Ryan dissuade you. I thought you did a great job.
I'm not saying I didn't like
Yep,
it. I'm saying I
Ryan
want it to
said
be
y'all suck.
louder.
He said
Hey.
y'all were terrible. I thought
Like,
you did great.
No, like no. Okay, so do you hear like how many boos like Suter still gets going back to Minnesota? That's
Yeah,
like,
I thought we gave Dumba more. I thought he was. I thought the fans did fantastic.
oh, okay. fine.
Although they didn't know
Well,
he was on the
will
ice
stop.
till about 10 minutes in.
Nope, I don't think
That's
that's
true.
I don't know
That's
what you're talking
true,
about,
yes, yeah.
James.
I
know
was
what
like,
you're
wait,
talking
he's
about.
on Arizona?
I don't know what you're talking about, James.
Okay, guys. I think we got to save some of this stuff for tomorrow night. Anything else?
Nope.
No, I think that's it. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for listening tonight. This has been a very busy live episode today. We had up to 32 people live listening to us. So thank y'all for
That's it.
listening to us live. And there's many more of you that shut up, Chris. There's many more of you that are listening later to this episode. We also thank you and appreciate you. Thank you to DraftKings Sportsbook and to Raycon for being our sponsors. Go and check out StarcasticRemarks.com, our official website, for all the latest info, all the latest episodes from our podcast. And also, I just want to say thank you to James. We have a Brit and his girlfriend, actually. I got to
There
shout
you
out
go.
Samantha because I'd get in trouble, and James will get in trouble for not mentioning it. But thank you to both of them for setting up the brand new Discord for Starcaster Remarks. Go and check that out. I actually sent a link on the Twitter page for the Starcaster Remarks. If you would like to join, go and join the Discord. I'm trying to be better about joining it and being more proactive about, talking about the game during the game. I did a little bit today. I'll do more on Saturday when the Stars take on the Colorado Avalanche. That's going to be a big game.
Normally me, Padre, and Zach are all in there pretty regularly talking about the game while it's going on.
Lots more stuff during the game, more than just after the game. Cool stuff there.
Yep. All right. Along with Chris, along with James, my name's Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side, and we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. Christian, take us out.
GG boys!